Thank you, Spirit.
Woo! All right, friends, while you're on your feet, please take a moment and turn to one another and offer the Namaste greeting. Namaste, musicians. Namaste to our tech team, Brian, Jesus. Namaste to our love streamers. I'm so glad you're tuning in with us this morning. Namaste in the back. I see you. I love you. I thank God for you. I bow to you. All right, and as you are seated, please also take a moment to silence your cell phones and any devices you have that make noise, whatever those may be. And Grand Rising, beloveds. Thank you. Will you do your thing? Go ahead. Grand Rising.
Da, 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 da. Grand Rising. Da, 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 da. Grand Rising. Da, 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 da. Welcome to Awakening Way.
Yeah, how cool is that? All right, so if you're new here and are wondering why are they saying Grand Rising, it's usually good morning. It's just a different way to say good morning. It's a more vibrant way to say it and to really affirm that you are grandly rising into this day, boldly and amazingly and powerfully and magnificently. And so Grand Rising is actually our theme for the year of 2024. And so we have this month and next month left in 2024, which is amazing. Anyway, I won't get into my sermon yet. My name is Reverend Elizabeth Rowley Hogue, and I'm the spiritual leader here. And I use she, her gender pronouns. And the land upon which we gather here today is the unceded territory of the Chumash and Salinan people. And it is my joy to welcome you to the Awakening Ways Center for Spiritual Living, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. This service has been designed especially for you and you. Welcome home. We have been waiting for you. We have an affirmation for today, and I invite you to please repeat after me. Something amazingly awesome is going to happen today. I can feel it in my bones. And so it is. And now our practitioner for today is going to come up and offer a Science of Mind reading and our opening prayer. Kristen, thank you for being here. I'll get that turned on for you. Oh, there you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. We are a community that really believes in the power of prayer. We bank on it, literally. So we have different ways. One way is our dear Norma Cole is sitting right now, and she's doing what we call the high watch, and she's in a state of deep meditation, and she's holding the community, the service, the world in meditation and consciousness. We also have the salmon-colored sheets. There's one in your program. There's more over there that you can put a prayer request in. And our soul support team will pray for you every day for a week. It's our practice and our joy and our pleasure and our honor to do that for our community. I'm also available for a quick 3-minute miracle after the service. If you just need like a little tune-up, a little spiritual tune-up, I can do that. And then you can also make an appointment with any of the practitioners or ministers, and they're listed inside your program for a really deep dive. Let's look at what you're not letting go of that might be clouding your vision. So every once in a while, the Science of Mind magazine will do a whole month of readings with Ernest Holmes' things, and I hold on to those because they're fabulous. So Take time to think about what most fully represents exultant and joyous life. Life that is so full of the sheer joy of living that it cannot be still. Young colts frisking in the pasture, kittens at play, children bubbling with energy. Think of them happily. Convince yourself and know that life fills your whole organism, that you not only have life, but you are life. Dwell on this thought, rejoice in it, declare it, give thanks for it, and accept life as yours right now. Start expressing it in every way you can. Your life is the life of God within you. Keep affirming this continuously. Accept your physical wholeness as the perfection of God in you. Be happy about it. And know that more and more it makes itself manifest in your body. If you'd like to close your eyes, feel yourself in your chair and know that there is only one power in the universe and in our lives, and that is the joyous, loving, exuberant life and one mind of God. And I am one with that joy and that love, and as I know I am, I know we all are. So I declare for this day, this is a day of just joy. There's diamonds on the lake. There's a new world coming. There's beauty in every face that you see. The music is what we need to hear, and we'll go out singing. Reverend Elizabeth will have a message that will resonate. And we know that as we connect with the God that we are creating a new world. And I am so grateful for the consciousness of this community. I'm so grateful for the love. So I release my word into the law, knowing it is already done. And together we say, and so it is.
Oh, you all are so beautiful. Please sing along with us if you feel like you know the words.
Everything is beautiful in its own way, like a starry summer night or snow-covered winter's day. And everybody's beautiful in their own way, as long as we have love on our side. The world's gonna find a way. There are none so blind as those who refuse to see. We must not close our minds, but we can let our thoughts be free. For every day that passes by, it seems the world gets a little bit colder. It's time to realize salvation lies in the eyes of the beholder. And everything is beautiful in its own way, like a starry summer night or a snow-covered winter's day. Everybody's beautiful in their own way. As long as we have love on our side, the world's gonna find the way. We shouldn't care about the way people pray or the color of their skin. Don't fret about what shows on the outside. See the soul that lies within.
Sing it out, Jimmy.
ropes. Wow. Let's give them some more love. Woohoo! 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 The echo. Thank you. Thank you for loving me. I love you guys. Jim, that was amazing. Let's give Jim some more love and the whole band and choir. Wow. You guys get better every week. I mean, don't we all? Don't we all? That's how this is going. We're ever evolving beings of light and love, aren't we? Always, every day in every way, we're getting better and better, as someone wise once said. Oh, gosh. So this is an awesome month. I am so thrilled about this month. We just completed Your Invisible Power, and the book of the month last month was Genevieve Baran's book with the same title, Your Invisible Power. And this month, the Seed of Awakening is the Gratitude Games. So friends, let the Gratitude Games begin. We're off and running. And so our book of the month for this month is called Thank and Grow Rich by Pam Grout. Now you've heard of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, yes? This is Thank and Grow Rich. And so this is all about practicing gratitude, fierce gratitude, and I am highly encouraging everyone to get the book of the month this month. This book it's just off the charts. I have the hard copy, I've got the Kindle, so I can copy things and put them into my notes. And I also have the Audible. That's how good it is. And this is one of those books that you could just jump in at any time and transform your thinking, and transform your life, right? Because that's what we're doing. We're transforming or transmuting, whatever you want to call it, our frequency to move from the thoughts of the mundane, in other words, the same thoughts that we had yesterday, into new thoughts and new thinking in a way that is uplifting and inspiring for ourselves and for the world. Who's up for that? Right? And so this book is really amazing. I think we have like 10 copies, and now 9 because I got this one. Something like that. But anyway, don't delay on getting this book. We're going to dive in a little bit more. Travis and I were listening to it yesterday on our way somewhere. and it was so powerful. I mean, it was so cool that he could just jump in and get tuned right into this frequency. And what she's all about is tuning into the frequency of gratitude. And she's saying that once we tune into this frequency, everything else falls into place. And it's so true. And so one of the things that she shared at some point in the book was something called duende. And that is a word that is used in Spain to define a certain kind of energy. And so she says if you tener duende, if you have duende, if you have this energy, which is soul or a heightened state of emotion, it's like passion, expression, etc. You get the point, right? So if you tener duende, there's something invisible that draws magic to you. So this month we're going to tener duende. You didn't know this was going to be a Spanish class, right? But also poet Federico Garcia Lorca once described duende as a fiery spirit, something that climbs up inside of you from the soles of your feet. And I was instantly reminded of being at Vasista's cave in India and being in silence, and there was a yogi that came up to me and grabbed my hands and said, "You are God in form. You are God in form." And I'm thinking, we're supposed to be quiet. But really what happened is something came up from my toes and out the top of my head, and it was like this burst of energy. Duende. Tener duende. So beautiful. So friends, there's no mistaking that energy when you're tuned into it. And so in our book of the month, Pam talks about how we tend to give the material world way more weight than it deserves. Would you agree? Yes. We give it more weight than it deserves. And so Michael Hare, who's the author of Dispatches, says that we're not just responsible for what we do, but also for what we see. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. You can run while you can, but it'll come back for you. We're not just responsible for what we do, but we're also responsible for what we see. We talk about this all the time, yes? We talk about this all the time. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me, and so forth, yes? When you're working on drawing in a relationship, you want to tune in and become the qualities of the relationship that you're seeking. Yes? Yeah. Right. We know this stuff. So I love the book. She says she's been commissioned by the universe to offer the readers 4 free gifts. How cool is that? She wants to offer us some free gifts. All right. And she says each of these gifts will be custom made by the universe specifically for you. Just like today's talk, right? Specifically for you. So she can't promise how the gifts are going to show up for you, but she can promise that they will. And so, but there's the caveat that you've got to get on the frequency of gratitude that is explained thoroughly in the book, and you will receive the 4 blessings that she describes, and I want to share those 4 blessings. So the first blessing is a personal symbol, a totem, or a sign. Now, many of you may already have a personal symbol, a totem, or a sign, something that occurs, and when you see it, you're like, ding, and it takes you right back to spirit. I've shared some of mine here, 1111. Elevate. Yes, ascend, right. Thank you. 1111, and I see it all the time. But the invitation, if you already have one that you've been using, try something new. So I don't know exactly what mine is yet, and I have a friend who years ago, it was so adorable, whenever he would see a DHL truck, he would give thanks and he would text his friend what he was grateful for. They had this agreement, right? I thought that was so cool. And whenever you're out in the world and you see that particular truck, so it could be maybe whenever you see a FedEx truck, if you're out in the world a lot, but if you spend more time, at home, maybe there's something out there that you can come up with. That's your personal totem, a butterfly. Butterflies have always been something for me because every time my mom used to see a butterfly, she would say hi to her mom like it was her mom showing up, right? You get the idea. Butterflies, hummingbirds. I love hummingbirds. They're a symbol of transformation. Whenever I see them, I really feel like it's the universe talking to me, right? So what is yours going to be? What is yours going to be for this month? Now, the reason for this is, maybe it's a number, the number 43. Do you know where that's from? Isn't that The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Right? Whatever it is, every time you see a Yorkshire Terrier, I don't know, a cow, right? Depends on where you're out and about, right? I'll leave that creative part to you, but this is a sign that the universe has your back and that you will begin to notice the symbol showing up anytime you need some reassurance or guidance, or it just pops in to remind you, I'm here, in case you forgot. And you'll take that moment to remember and to get grounded and anchored in the truth. So it's like a hint or a God wink, a nod that is assuring you that you're on the right track. Now, the author jokingly named this gift the Carol Burnett Principle. How cute is that? Now, you may not know this, but every night during Carol Burnett's Emmy-winning variety show, the popular comedian would at some point pull on her earlobe. Yeah, and that was a sign, a way of her saying hello to her grandmother who raised her. How many Carol Burnett fans in the room? Right? She was hilarious. She still is. So that's awesome, right? That's a symbol, a sign. Okay, you with me? All right, number 2 is, the second gift is a magical blessing from the natural world. Now, this could be from a bird or a tree or goats. I've got your goats on my mind, Sue and Frank. Could be a magical blessing from the misty river of the Milky Way flowing through the sky. I just thought of Jen, who often gets to see stars like nobody else does because of where she lives, away from all the light, right? And so when you become receptive to the beauty, the joy, and the excitement of the natural world, which we are very receptive, that's why we keep meeting here. Yes, we suddenly get freed from the boundaries of human existence, okay? And so we're called to notice these things. Now, Rachel Carson called it a sense of wonder. And she said that it provides an unfailing antidote against boredom and the sterile preoccupation that with things that are artificial, right? And so things that alienate us from the source of our strength. We get distracted sometimes by those, don't we? Yeah, at least I do. And so this is one of my favorite stories of the book so far. I've read about 10 chapters, and it's a story about a Marine who is a former Marine named Scott Harrison. And he had a tour in Vietnam, and that ended abruptly for him when his knee was shredded by a grenade, only after 7 months of serving. And so he was airlifted out of the battlefield and returned to an America that, as he described it, wouldn't look a soldier in the eye. And so to cope, he drank, he took drugs, he isolated, and he eventually migrated to San Jose, California, where he worked in a boatyard. And so in his continuing effort to avoid human contact, he built a 32-foot schooner on which he sailed alone deep into the Pacific. He was out of his mind. He was out of his mind, sobbing with grief and remorse, hoping for a big storm to come in and capsize his boat and put him out of his misery. But instead, on the 8th day at sea, a 30-foot whale surfaced next to his boat and looked him straight in the eye. Right. Now the whale swam beside him for 3 or 4 hours. Now, for reasons that Harrison says he can't explain, it made him feel loved in a way that he had never been loved before. The natural world, yes? So, a magical blessing from the natural world. Now, number 3, the third gift is a message from the other side. And I love the way she describes this in the book. Sorry if this is sounding like a book report, but it's so good. It's just so good. There's really no other side, but it's the side that we have allowed ourselves to believe is different because it's mysterious and miraculous and we can't see it. Yes? That side. And so it's a message from the other side, the other realm of existence. Now, some might label their delivery man as an angel, or others might get a shout out from a deceased relative. Has anybody experienced that in some way or another? Right. Or we might hear from an entity who's been reveling in the quantum playground without the limitations of acid reflux, weight gain, or other bodily ailments, yes? Either way, we're going to be shown that there's an incredible amount of support from other realms of existence that we cannot see. In other words, even though our loved ones have departed, they are absolutely supporting us in ways that we can't imagine. but they're like our cheerleaders. They're like nudging us, helping us along the way, and clearing the path for us, like I refer sometimes to the cosmic Mary Maids who are kind of cleaning up the mess around me as I move forward in the world. Because sometimes things get messy, don't they? Right? Yeah. So they have a much bigger perspective. We're just looking at what's right here in our existence right now, but the entities in the other realm can see the whole thing, and they know more. And so they're helping us out, right? So anyway, we'll be shown that there's an incredible amount of support in many different dimensions. Yeah, that we may have blocked out with our belief that this material existence is all that there is. All right. So there's one individual whose dad wants to come through, and he ends up turning off a TV that belongs to his daughter, his granddaughter, who was born the same week that he passed, right? And so he'll just turn off the TV, and she'll know in an instant, oh, that's Grandpa, right? Or that's Dad. And then there's another individual who had a brother who died in his 20s, and he ends up delivering regular guidance that often happens when you're not viewing life from this myopic viewpoint of the body. But, she had been thrown into intense grief, and in that intense grief, she wasn't able to experience the communication. So, but eventually, she thought he'd come back to visit because they had made a pact in childhood that if either one of us goes, you'll come back to say hi, and it'll be clear. It'll be a clear way. And so one day she said, it would be a lot easier if you could figure out a clear way to make your presence known. Like, how about using electronics? And so a couple days later, she was downstairs folding laundry when she heard music playing upstairs, and it got really, really loud, and she was so irritated, wondering what in the heck her husband was doing up there. And so she ended up meeting him in the hallway, and where he too was headed to that same bathroom or wherever they were going, because there was loud music coming from that direction, and they were both like, what? It's not you? And so this ear-piercing rendition of one of her brother's favorite songs was playing on the radio that they had left in the bathroom. Wow. But the weirdest part is that there were no batteries in the radio. And there hadn't been for years. Right? This stuff happens, right? Yeah. Number 4, the fourth gift is that a clear sign that something you have long clung to is, as an absolute fact, is actually not true at all. Anyone experience that? Something that you have clung to for a long time as an absolute fact, it is absolutely this way, is actually not true at all. I've offered several examples about that in my life. One of my favorite ones being about my brother and thinking, why does he get to go to Tahoe and stay for months at a time and I have to stay here? This isn't fair. This is not fair, right? And then years later, my mom, I'm talking to my mom like, why did he get, I was so mad that he always got to go and hang out and have fun and I was stuck at home. And that time he went to Tahoe for 4 months or whatever. I mean, that's outrageous. And she said, oh, he actually was in juvenile hall, and we didn't want to tell you. When that happens, you're like, oh, I'm getting the God bumps right now. Because, right? Can you feel that? It's like, every time I do that, it happens. What? It's like it dissolves. And you're free to be all that you came here to be. I'm reminded again, that moment, Michelle Jordan at my ordination ceremony. God is for you, God is for you, God is for you, God is for you. And I could feel it. And anything that thought there was something against me or that wasn't for me just dissolved. That, wow, right? Wow. If that's true, then, wow, something awesome is happening. Something wonderful is happening as me right now. Anything is possible. Everything is possible. I can do, be, and have all that I came here to do, be, and have. There's plenty of time. There's no lack. There's no scarcity. God is good all the time. Yes? Are you with me? Yes. Wow, right? A clear sign that something you've long clung to as absolute fact is actually not true at all. And so she uses the example of money, and it's very good. She's talking about this popular absolute fact about money being limited and so hard to come by. And then she actually shares a story about she was just starting in, or just dabbling in her freelance writing, and she wanted to go further. And there was this incredible workshop that was being offered, and it was like $1,500. And she had about $50 in her bank account at the time. Now she's a best-selling author, right? And so she thought it's impossible. And then, or she actually had $59, sorry. And so she really wanted to go, though. And so she thought maybe she could use that money as a deposit. And she started sharing with her friends this idea, and her friends were like, that's never going to happen. Are you out of your mind? That'll be the day. What? But she almost believed him, you know? And so she resolved to go to this workshop no matter what. She threw her hat over the fence. I'm going to Bali, like Joy did this last week. Yay! She threw her hat over the fence, yes? And she had no choice but to let go of this absolute fact that she couldn't attend the workshop because she didn't have the money. She let go of that idea and made her $50 deposit, and that exact night, a woman who she barely knew called her to do a project for her new company. And there was an article that she wanted her to write in Self magazine. Have you heard of that magazine? Hello. And it was about some cloth prosthetics that she invented for breast cancer patients. And so she commissioned her to write this. The project took her all of 2 hours to complete, and the exposure earned the individual nearly $250,000, and she paid Pam $2,000. Signed up for the workshop, boom, the rest is history, right? What? It's awesome. And so she uses that as a great example of how something that she thought was absolute, you see how we apply this to our lives, yes? To our daily lives, right? Something that you want for yourself in your life that maybe you think you can't do because you currently don't see the money in your bank account, for example. It's a great example. Another example is that she shares is that life is not as cut and dried as it seems, and the example that she shares in the book is about Deepak Chopra, and he was in Africa and unreachable, and his assistant was really needing to contact him about something, and so it wasn't going to happen because he was far away from phones and internet, and all the other devices were dependent on communications from others, and so he was way out there. But she started to put it out in the universe. She said, Deepak, I really need you to call me. Deepak, call me now. Deepak, I really need you to call me. Deepak, call me now. Deepak, I really need you to call me. Deepak, call me now. Well, you can guess what happened, can't you? Yep, he called her. So this miracle of gratitude is that it shifts our perception to such an extent that it changes the world that you see. That's what we're up to this month. Our gratitude changes the world that we see. And so we're going to navigate through the book throughout the month. Susan's going to be the speaker next Sunday, and I imagine she'll be using her portion of the book for that week. And And so there's 4 sections, and the first one is alchemical capital. So she's really talking about you're going to grow rich, but not like 401k investment type rich, rich in your spiritual portfolio, which is just as important in my opinion. Now, the alchemical capital is all about the fact that she's discovered that living on the frequency of joy and gratitude causes cataclysmic reverberations. Hello. Right? Yes, please. Now, number 2, spiritual capital. She says that she'll never forget the time she was walking across the kitchen, and this may have happened to you also. I remember a similar experience. For me, I was just walking, I think it was to the bathroom, and I suddenly heard, "I love you." And I knew it was Spirit loving me. But it stopped me, and I went, "Oh, thank you." She had this experience of walking to the kitchen, and she's not quite sure what she was doing exactly, but she was suddenly overwhelmed with a sense of joy and life being so good in all its fierce beauty. And she knew in that moment that no matter what the balance was in her bank account, that all would be well. That all would be well. Whether she got the assignment or not. Not just well, but so intensely beautiful that if she didn't watch out, she just might spontaneously combust with sheer rapture. Right? Yeah, that's what we're up to this month. And so, do any of you remember the little video that was played like at least 10 years ago? It came out, and it was about the gorilla, and there were some basketball players, and you were supposed to count the number of players wearing white. And you were so focused on there were people in white and people in black shirts, and you were so focused on counting on the white shirts. You got it, right? I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, 11. And then it said, "Oh, but did you happen to notice the moonwalking bear?" I was like, "What? Moonwalking bear?" And then I turn it on, there's this huge bear moonwalking right through the middle. What? That blew my mind, you guys. We get what we're looking for. What are you paying attention to? What is it that you're focusing on? This month, we're focusing on gratitude, and we're tuning into the frequency of gratitude, and we're not going to miss any of it. There's invisible gifts that are available to us here and now, and we're paying attention. We're looking for the moonwalking bears. Yeah, so that's the spiritual capital. Number 3 is adventure capital, and this is one of my favorites because it's all about that life is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be some drudgery, and some of you may have to take my word for it, but a lot of us were trained that it wasn't going to be fun, that life was hard, life isn't fair, life is hard. Does that sound familiar? Not so, right? Or we've been trained that, well, if you work hard, you can have fun. Someday, out there in the future, not today, not now, you can have fun. Maybe when you're retired, in the future someday out there, but not now. Yes? I see a lot of heads nodding, right? But that's not true. So life is meant to be fun and enjoyable, and so we get to experience that. And the 4th is social capital. I love this one too, because what if every day we saw ourselves as powerful radio towers for joy and love and connection? Because that's what we are, right? What if we saw ourselves that way? And what if we adopted the attitude that I am light and I stand before you to love you? I am light and I stand before you to love you. Wow. If we could do that for everyone we meet, for everyone we come in contact with, I believe we can transform the world. What do you think? Yeah. Yeah, so wrapping it up, this month we're called to stop thinking and start thanking. right? I wanted to share another thing that we're going to send this out because we're going to send this out to you all. It's it's like your investment portfolio, but your capital, alchemical capital, spiritual capital, creative capital, social capital, and adventure capital. You'll read all about it in the book. It's powerful and amazing. And you're going to actually indicate where you're at this point. And then we'll revisit this at the end of the month and see where we're at. And the idea is that there's going to be some transformation. I know we're all already super grateful, but we're going to up-level our gratitude game. And then at the bottom, there's a projected capital gains. In other words, gift tracking. This is where you're going to make a note what your personal totem or symbol is, the blessings that you receive from the natural world, message from the other side, a shattered absolute fact. You could even make copies of this and do something every day, right? Yeah, how have you contributed to your portfolio? I love this stuff. I love it. It's like Travis said, I think she wrote this book for you. She did. For all of us. It's very good. Now, I feel like before I go into the conclusion and call to action, I need to warn you that she does have some language. She's a little bit irreverent, which makes it fun for me. But if you're not inclined to like that type of thing, be careful. She is irreverent and she makes fun of things and it's okay, right? And it's just a good, it's refreshing. It's a refreshing look, which I believe we could all use. Get this book, start reading it, whether you get it here today or get the Audible or the Kindle version, whatever it is, right? We're moving into election week this week, and we're moving into Thanksgiving and family time and all of the fun joy that comes with that, right? Yeah, it's just different, It's so funny. We think we're so evolved, and then we get around our family, and we just go back to our 12-year-old, right? Like, what? It's a spiritual practice, isn't it? Yeah, it's good. Okay, so wrapping it up. Stop thinking and start thanking. What are you grateful for right now? Let's hear it. Oh, thank you. Oh, he said Carol Ann, the lake, the music, Jimmy. Yep. What? The cool air. Yeah, this crisp fall air, love. Yeah. Open up that jar and let your gratitude blessings and what you're grateful for come out. Let it just flow out. Yeah, it's good stuff. So remember that real security lies not in collecting gold coins, but in knowing that anytime you move toward the thing that gives you chills, the thing that makes you feel most alive, that you will be blessed. You will be gloriously provided for. And the universe, believe it or not, will conspire to help you. Talking to myself. So make it your task this week to emit molecules of happiness to every person you come in contact with. Make it your mission to uplift everyone you see, whether it's with a smile or just sending out those happiness vibes, yes? Approach others with this attitude. I've been wanting to meet you all of my life. I've been wanting to meet you all of my life. There's something that comes from you when you approach others in that respect, yes? All right, and your specific daily action follows. Number 1, admit that something amazingly awesome is going to happen to you today first thing in the morning, before you even get out of bed, right? Before you throw off those covers. Something amazingly awesome is going to happen today. And you can even do some fist pumps, woo woo, or whatever. Yeah, give your partner a high five, I don't know, whatever it is. That's going to really get you into it, right? And so, number 2, come to believe in blessings and miracles. So pretend like you're a private investigator with the task of finding all the beauty and largesse in the world that you can. That is your homework, should you choose to accept it. Now, I'm going to invite the musicians to come up and prepare for our closing song. And as they do, I want to share that I'm so thrilled to announce that Gourmets for God 2024 season has completed. Yay! And it completed yesterday with our last event, which was the Dia de los Muertos celebration. And we had 10 events this year, and they were amazing, and we raised close to $4,000, I believe. Yeah. Yeah. And we had about 22 individuals who put on these events, co-hosting and whatnot, and your family who doesn't come here, but they contributed so much goodness. And then we had, I didn't count the number of attendees, but several attendees. Now, these events are so important and powerful. They're like we're putting on little parties, you know? And we put on 2 of them, the line dancing, board games, and bingo, and the Dia de los Muertos celebration. And yeah, we put some money into it. And the thing is, yes, we could have taken that money and donated it to the community, but then the actual gathering and the community aspect is lost, right? And so that's one of the most beautiful things about this. We're raising money for the center, and we get to experience connection like we don't get to experience here on Sundays. Now, we're church in a box, and what that means is we come in early Sunday morning, we set up, and then we have an out time where we got to sign out by noon most of the time, right? And so, and we love it here. It's great. I'm so grateful for it. It's just a different experience of community because we got to bounce, right? We're packing up and getting ready to go pretty quickly, whereas if we had our own building, we would be hanging out and just staying as long as we really wanted to, right? So that is a difference. And so Gourmets for God events, belonging circles, classes, workshops, these are all the opportunities, and there's more opportunities for us to go deeper together as community. So if you haven't attended or been on the fence, I invite you to consider getting more involved. And I'm looking around and seeing all of you who are here, you've been to at least one. At least one. So we had the Crafty Vegan, Lay Back and Hang Loose, La Cucina di Girolamo, Cucina, Brushes, Bites, and Beverages, Laugh-alicious, Barbecue Like a Pitmaster, Mexican Food Fiesta, which, by the way, David and Lorene Clark held that twice because there were half of the group couldn't attend on that day. Something else came up, and so they had a second one. Wow, right? Thank you. Please thank Lorene. She's not here today. And then we had Celebrate First Peoples, line dancing, board games, and bingo, and our Dia de los Muertos celebration. So let's just give some love to all of those who created events and attended events. And thank you. And that concludes my talk for today, so let's give me some love. Thank you. And now let's take a deep breath together. And on the exhale, bring your attention fully inward and focus on that inward space, which is the space where I know and remember with every fiber of my being that spirit is all that there is. And I'm so grateful to know that this is true because as I remember this truth, I connect with it. And in my connection to the truth, I begin to identify with the truth. And as I identify with the truth, there's a merging that happens, and there's a real recognition and understanding and embodiment that there's only one thing happening, and it is spirit. And this is true for each one of us. And I'm so grateful to know that in this experience of truth, I am actually vibrating at a different frequency This frequency of truth is a higher frequency. This frequency of the divine is magnificent. And so as we are tuned into the divine frequency this month of gratitude, I know that something wonderful is truly happening. These aren't just words that I'm saying. Our lives are transformed, and it's starting right now. And so I'm grateful for the transformation that occurs for each one of us this month. I'm grateful for the transformation that occurs within this community as one community this month. I'm grateful for the transformation in all of our individual lives and in the lives of Atascadero and in the lives of the surrounding cities beyond Atascadero and in the state of California and in the United States of America and the whole world. Gratitude everywhere. Everything is happening. There's so much good happening, we just can't see it. Like the moonwalking bear. Up until now, because now we're looking for it. And we experience it every day and know that every day in every way we're getting better and better. Woo! Life is good. And I am grateful, and so it is.
So it is.
Yes. Woo-hoo.
There's a new world coming, and it's just around the bend. There's a new world coming. This one's coming to an end. There's a new voice calling. You can hear it if you try. And it's growing stronger with each day that passes by. There's a brand new morning, rising clear and sweet and free. There's a new day dawning that belongs to you and me. There's a new world's coming, one we've all had visions of. Coming in peace, coming in joy, coming in love. There's a new life coming, one we've all been speaking of. It's a life worth living, born of spirit, joy, and love. 'Cause we're all awakening to this world so fresh and new. As we say, so it is, and know it's true. As we say, so it is, and know it's true.
Beautiful. All right, it's now time for our conscious giving. Will our ushers please come forward? All right, today we have BJ and Tom. Let's give them some love for being in service. Thank you so much. If you're tuning in on the live stream, you can make your donation by going to paypal.me/awakeningways. If you forgot your checkbook or your cash, you can take your phone out and scan the QR code on the back of your program and make your donation that way. And then let's take our gifts and place it over our heart. And we have a giving affirmation. I invite you to please repeat after me. From the love of pure within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world. And returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. All right.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I
Not only can you give over the internet, you can ask for prayer over the internet at info@awakeningways.org and put prayer request in the subject line. Oh, we are so blessed. We are so blessed by your gifts financially, spiritually, your laughter, your fellowship, your mere presence is a gift. That's why they call it the present. So, as we go off into our week, knowing we have given and received, we take the blessing, we look for miracles, and we know that something amazing is going to happen every day. I bless these gifts, I bless us all, and together we say, and so it is.
Thank you. Oh, I need that back. All right, it's now time for our announcements. We have a wonderful announcements angel today, Susan. Woohoo!
Hello, beloveds.
Hello.
Just another one of my hats. So, this Wednesday, coming up, November 6th, Jamie Nicole is going to be providing another Crystal Bowl sound healing from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. at our office on El Camino. Bring your yoga mat, blanket, pillow, whatever you need to be comfortable. You deserve this healing opportunity. There's a sign-up sheet at the back table. The suggested love offering is $25, but no one will be turned away. So please come and give yourself this gift. It really, at this time of year, we all deserve this. I also wanted to remind you, I don't think we really have spoken about this very much, and I was not here last week, but our beautiful Reverend Elizabeth enjoyed a birthday on October 23rd. And just as she always does, as she has done since she became our senior minister, she created a Facebook fundraiser. And so the goal of the fundraiser is $1,500, and we are almost at $800. So very close, more than halfway. And so I want to encourage anyone who wishes to gift Reverend Elizabeth, which gifts Awakening Ways, go to Facebook and make that donation, or use that little QR code on your program, and just be sure that you make a little note. This is like happy birthday, Revy. Put something in there so we know that it's for that fundraiser. We've tried to be really mindful about fundraisers so that we're not constantly bombarding you with fundraisers, and this is a really easy one because it's just click a button. You don't have to do anything and show up for anything. So please, I encourage you to donate. Now, another fundraiser, but this one's really fun. So we're calling all talented people, near and far. Your artistry is requested on November 17th for goods to be donated to our Makers Fair, which all the proceeds are going to Awakening Ways. And so this brings painters, sculptors, carvers, jewelry makers, knitters, weavers, and candlestick makers together. Bring whatever your art and craft. We invite you to help us make this the most beautiful display for this year's Love's Table celebration. Betty Scanlon is heading this up. She's not here today, but we do have a sign-up sheet at the back if you'd like to put your name down and also tell us what your offering is. And then speaking of Love's Table, that is our annual holiday potluck, and it is a beloved tradition. This is a time when we do get to stay here and fellowship with each other and enjoy food and just time together. We'll have that Love's Table, we'll have the Makers Fair happening, but mostly it's about getting together and breaking bread together. So there is a sign-up sheet at the back for you to sign up to bring your favorite potluck dish for this. Okay. Just wanted to give you a recap about the Echo meal that Awakening Ways provided. It was a huge success. The folks at Echo loved the lentil beef sloppy joes. It was a huge hit. We had salad. We had a beautiful tapioca pudding that provided by Doreen over there. It was a huge success, and we had several of our people from our community stay and serve, which was beautiful as well. We're considering another one in December. No date has been chosen. What we need to know is if you're up for it, if you're down for it. So come to see me or Carol Ann. She's raising her hand right there. Carol Ann or me, and let us know that you have some interest in doing this. We would do the same thing, the same meal, so we're not going to have to reinvent the wheel. Okay, and then a couple other things that are kind of important to me, okay? The Hearts and Hands team has always been providing the love, attention, time to put together our refreshment table. And there have been some changes in Hearts and Hands, and so right in this moment, we need helpers in November to help set up the food. It's already provided. There's coffee that needs to be made and water that needs to be put together. I have a sign-up sheet at the food table for people to just pick one thing. And ushers and greeters. We also need ushers and greeters. And what I want to say about this is, almost everyone in this room has looked at me and said, thank you for all that you do. And what I want to say is, thank and say yes. Just one time. You don't have to sign up for a lifetime of this. Just one time. Sign up sheet at the back. Please, I would just love for the help, especially next week. Come on, I'm speaking. I don't need to make the coffee, right? Okay, another, woo! Another really exciting thing has to do with that little nugget back there. We are going to reestablish our children's program starting in December. Our beautiful Sonia has agreed to lead the children's program one Sunday a month, the first Sunday of every month, and so she will be here on the first day of December to do that. And then our beautiful Nancy Van Tassel, who's not here today, has agreed to do another Sunday in the month and provide a musical experience for the kids. So here's the deal. We need kids. We need kids. There's no point in having a children's program if we have no kids. So at the back table, there are little papers that are talking about spiritual sprouts. Take one, chat it up with your people, bring your grandkids, pull people off the street. We want some kids here for that, okay? So it starts in December, but we're talking it up now, okay? So that we are, on December 1st, we got some kids here, okay? Okay, in December, be sure to mark your calendar for our holiday candlelight service and dessert potluck. That's going to be on Tuesday, December 17th. It's a little different day for us, but that's the date that we're going to do it. So be sure that you mark that down. All these dates are in the e-news. They're posted at the back, but please you don't want to miss that beautiful, and when it's dark out, it's just so beautiful when we're here. It's on Tuesday this year because we are honoring another group that meets here on Wednesday that in past has agreed to change their date, and we decided we would let them have this time, that particular Wednesday, the 18th. So that's why it's on Tuesday. So the book of the month, we already know all about it. It's available at the back. It's $23, well worth it. I've already gotten through my 10 chapters of it. It's so much fun. It's so good. Here's a little quote. When we observe the world from a place of gratitude, when we use our attention to spot beauty, to focus on possibility, we radically change our day-to-day experience. But why take someone else's word for it? The 30-day experiment in this book invites you to prove it to yourself. So we're all going to be working on that this week. Now, the Science of Mind magazine is delayed, so we don't have that available just yet, but we do still have some copies of Genevieve Baran's book, which was our gift to you in October. So if you did not get one of these, please come and get one. It's free, and this is an incredible book. You will love it. It's life-changing. Okay, a big shout out to all of our volunteers and staff. Woo! We love you.
Good job. Let's circle up for our benediction and call and response. That was a lot. It's great. We might need to go a little closer this time, right? Yeah. Let's go through here. Let's go through here, guys, because it's a little shorter. Yeah. But Norma, back up to the, yeah, there you go. Here we go. Oh. There we go, there we go. We got this. We got this. Okay, my friends, won't you know with me that you are never alone, that God is where you are right now and always, and all that we ever need do is turn within. And it is here we will find we are guided, sustained, directed, and inspired by a source that knows only good. Joyously let us make use of these gifts in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. Please repeat after me. Something wonderful, actually, something awesome is happening as me right now.
Something awesome is happening as me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my pocketbook. Life is in my relationships. Life is everywhere. I think it. I feel it. I believe it. I express it. I accept it. Just the way that it is. And just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Woohoo!
What was that? 1, 2, 3. May I be